Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6.
A man sentenced for prison for killing a woman on the Centennial Trail less than 10 years ago is already back in jail on assault charges. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Bloom. Jordan Smith has the night off. We are following this breaking news. Avondre Graham was sentenced in late 2013 for killing Charlotte McGill while she was walking her dog on the trail. Graham was 17 years old at the time and pled guilty to avoid going to trial. McGill's daughter found her before she died, and McGill gave a brief description of her attacker. Police caught Graham several months later when he attacked a Gonzaga student on the trail. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison with credit for time served. The Spokane County Jail roster shows Graham was booked on assault charges more than a week ago. He also faces harassment, threats to kill, domestic violence, unlawful imprisonment, and sexual motivation charges. And it has been a rainy day throughout Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Meteorologist Matt Gray is here to tell us how much longer this rain is going to stick around and what we can expect for the work week ahead. Yeah, so we are going to see a pretty active first half of the week, and the rain's going to be sticking around at least for a little while longer as it continues to kind of basically stay parked over Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. In fact, the rain intensity actually increased a little bit in Spokane in the last hour and a half. We're still seeing lots of wet roads and steady rain around much of Kootenai County. So here is what is happening here. We're starting to see the intensity of the rain on radar ease up just a little bit, but we are still seeing light to pockets of moderate rainfall all the way from the West Plains all the way to Coeur d'Alene. It's going to take a little bit of time for this to get out of here, but I do expect later tonight we are going to see the rain eventually stop, and we'll have much calmer conditions later on in the evening. You look to the south as well, and it's starting to cool off enough that it actually is now starting to come snow around parts of the Palouse, at least for a brief moment while it is here before it gets out of here. Look at this. Snow falling in Moscow right now. Not expecting much of accumulation with this tonight, but certainly something to keep an eye on as you are out and about around the Palouse this evening. And look, already on the West Plains, I-90 and Geiger, that fog starting to develop. So we're going to be talking about foggy conditions in the morning and another storm on the way in your full forecast coming up. Thanks, Matt. Well, there's a new controversial bill under consideration in Olympia right now that could limit turning right on a red light in certain areas while you're driving. Turning right on a red light has been a federal right since the 1970s. If passed, drivers could no longer make the turn within 1,000 feet of designated places such as daycares, senior centers, or libraries. Peter Choi explains why this bill is controversial. Peter?
Yeah, I spoke to Arias Franklin, who has a disability, and he says he's often in a blind spot when he crosses the street like this. And he says he needs to be extra careful about his safety, and tonight he says this bill will be a game changer to keep more people safe.
Arias Franklin has been disabled for his whole life.
I've been using a chair now for probably about 10 years.
So he knows to always check crosswalks twice.
Somebody comes down here and turns, and I'm right here trying to get off, I can get hit. Also, it can cause an accident.
He welcomes House Bill 1582 and believes it's a small step in the right direction to ensure safety for people with disabilities and others.
There have been times where I've been crossing in a crosswalk in the middle, and a car has literally cut me off and had to wave me off and say, "I'm sorry, I didn't see you." And so ultimately, if I wasn't paying attention for myself and the driver, that could have led to, me getting into a serious accident.
If passed, drivers could no longer turn right on red within 1,000 feet of places like Child Care Center, public park, hospital, senior center, and more. Herb Krohn, who's representing 2,000 railroad employees, says he understands the importance of safety, but wants to keep traffic moving.
And that really hinders freight mobility and the movement of commerce and the ability of people and trucks and shipments to move.
He says the bill needs more planning before it gets passed.
But we need to look at the problems and find rational, reasonable solutions to address issues around traffic and around traffic safety and motor vehicle safety, and not just try to put an emotional blanket provision that is not well thought out as state law.
If passed into law, the bill will go into effect on July 1st, 2024. There's no word yet, but a vote will be held. In Spokane, Peter Choi, 4 News Now.
The death of Tyre Nichols, the 29-year-old black man that died after being severely beaten by Memphis police officers, has gained the attention of people nationwide, sparking calls for police reform and accountability. Yesterday in Spokane, multiple groups, including the NAACP and the Washington Coalition for Police Accountability, spoke about police brutality. Some speakers even had personal experiences themselves. Debbie Novak's son, David Novak, was shot and killed by a Spokane police officer in 2019. She said the body camera footage capturing Tyre Nichols' encounter with police brought back memories of her own son.
Know the grief they have placed on me and my family with their wanton and reckless actions and disregard for human life. And to the Tyre Nichols family and to his mother and all the mothers out there that have lost a child to police brutality, I want to say that I will do whatever I can to help them.
Speakers encouraged people in attendance to go to this Monday's City Council meeting to demand more to be done and to prevent police brutality. And pharmacists are venting their frustrations with Kaiser Insurance after recently discovering that patients covered by the insurance agency are restricted on their ability to receive medication. Essentially, patients can get 2 medication refills from local pharmacies, but after that second refill, patients have to either order that medicine by mail or drive to a Kaiser-based pharmacy. For people in rural areas like in Colfax, that can be problematic. The closest Kaiser-based pharmacy to Colfax is an hour away here in Spokane, which would require that the patient travel 100 miles round trip to receive their medicine. That is, if they choose to decline receiving it through the mail. For many patients, making that drive can look like an attractive alternative rather than waiting for it to arrive on time in the mail. For medication like insulin or blood thinners, the consequences could be dire if the mail were to arrive late.
They have a snowstorm or something that can cause a delay in that mail getting there. They could go a couple days without their insulin and all of a sudden end up in the hospital.
If this mandating mail order doesn't stop, you know, where is that going to leave, you know, all of our patients that live rurally and count on us?
Both Katie and Nathan Johnson testified before the Washington legislature in favor of a new bill that's been proposed, which would give patients the freedom of choice when it comes to picking up their pharmacies. If approved, however, it wouldn't take effect until 2025. And a nationwide teacher shortage is leaving grade-level classrooms without educators, but helping the problem could actually be making it worse. I'll explain that coming up. And a Chinese spy balloon flying across the nation raised concern over the past few days. A look at the military operation that shot it down and how it has escalated the tension that already existed between the U.S. and China.
And the rain's still falling tonight, or snow in some cases. We'll be looking at more fog, however, in the morning and a mostly dry Monday, but not everywhere is going to stay totally rain or snow free tomorrow. We'll show you where and give you a preview of the next storm headed our way this week coming up.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
4 News Now is brought to you by Car Wash Plaza. Those responsible for making our local roads and highways safe for winter travel would like to remind you that snow removal is an important, critical, and precise task. Please give the right-of-way to removal equipment so we can all get where we need to go quickly and safely.
A couple of years ago, we started noticing that my mom started to have some cognitive decline on the spectrum of dementia. Yanni and I have had to kind of put our jobs on the back burner to really help take care of my mom.
It's our mom, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for her.
If we had a resource like Walk Cares, that would have been so helpful to ease some of our financial burden. Walk Cares is a program that I think will benefit everybody.
Want to do a little spinning and winning at the Kootenai Casino? Play our February Hot Spins Thursday through Sunday. Win there and you'll move on to Friday, Saturday Super Spins drawings. Then get a shot at the big money drawing. Book a midweek room at the Kootenai Falls Lodge for just $59 or a midweek Riverview room for just $89. Hot Spins, Super Spins, and Final Cash giveaway. We're winning and spinning at the Kootenai Casino. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
The savings continue with Bi-Mart's latest savings book, out now and posted at bimart.com. Inside, you'll find 16 pages of store-wide savings, including pantry and household essentials, clearance savings on all quilt sets, and more, plus electronics and pet supplies. Save now with our latest savings book at Bi-Mart, your employee-owned membership store.
You want to know why I call South Carolina home? Come on, take a road trip with me. When you look around, you can really get a sense of why I love my home state. From the beaches all the way up to the beautiful mountains, South Carolina's got awesome scenery, cool cities, rich culture, and super friendly people. Of course, the best thing you can do is come down to South Carolina and find your own favorite places. Come see why I love this place.
Winter weather means hazardous driving conditions. If you must travel, follow these guidelines to keep everyone safe. Slow down and keep a safe following distance. Use traction tires. Give snow and emergency vehicles the right of way. Carry an emergency kit. Brought to you by Lakes, Worley, Post Falls, and Eastside Highway Districts. 4 News Now is brought to you by Foothills Mazda.
A wet day around the inland northwest, and that rain trying to flip over to snow in some parts of the region. We're already seeing a little bit of snow in Moscow, other parts of Layton and Benoit counties at a little bit higher elevation. Likely to see at least some small accumulations tonight before this storm pulls out of here. Other places that could see a little dusting, St. Mary's and the Silver Valley, as all of this continues to track to the south and the east as we go through the night. I expect the wet weather to begin to wrap itself up here in the next hour and a half or so around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Temperatures are not going to cool off very much, and I think once the rain ends, the fog is going to develop fairly quickly, just as it has done already across the West Plains. And because we're not going to be cooling down very much, and in fact only just barely going to touch freezing in the morning, that means wet roads and sidewalks. However, those higher benches where it is going to get a little bit cooler, you do want to watch out for some icy patches as we get into the morning. And just because we are going to touch that freezing mark very briefly, places like Hayden, downtown Spokane, the International Airport, Fairchild and Cheney down into the 20s in Deer Park, and right around 30 in Spirit Lake. So certainly could see some slick spots on roads in those areas, especially those side roads out at the bus stop. Mild conditions in the 30s and foggy weather. That is going to be the big thing that we got to watch out for as we're heading through the morning hours and starting off the brand new week. You can see upper 20s as you head further north and mid 30s around the Palouse tonight, upper 30s in Lewiston. So not going to get much chillier than it is right now. By midnight, I expect things to be much calmer, especially across North Idaho when it comes to rain and snow. A chance for some more mountain snow showers, especially in North Idaho, and perhaps a little bit of rain gets down into the valleys around Kootenai County and around Lake Coeur d'Alene as we get into the early afternoon. I'm not expecting a whole lot to be going on in eastern Washington, and there's some more mostly mountain showers as we get into your Monday evening, and that's just a preview of what is to come after a mostly dry Monday. The fog lifts and we end up with mostly cloudy skies around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Temperatures will pop up into the 40s, if all but very briefly, but you can see lots of 40s on the map. You get up to the 50s in the LC Valley. The next storm is coming, though, fairly soon. In fact, by the time we get to Tuesday morning, we are back in the wet weather. We'll be looking for a little bit of wintry mix and snow as well in northeast Washington and the North Idaho Panhandle. And this is going to be going on for the majority of the day. It's really not going to be until Tuesday evening where things let up there. So you should be ready for a wet and windy day on Tuesday. All the heavy weather gear, you're definitely going to need it. Wednesday, though, we get a nice reward. Temperatures aren't going to change that much, but our sunshine certainly will. Should be a pretty nice wrap up to our week.
All right, thanks, Matt. Well, when we turn on the faucet, we expect to get water. We freak out when nothing happens, but how it actually gets to our kitchen, showers, and bathrooms is often overlooked. In this week's Air for Adventure, we're taking you above some water towers throughout the Spokane area.
There's multiple different companies that serve water in the valley. I think there's 13 in Spokane County's water districts. Either on legs or on a hill, it's something just to lift the water up to where it needs to be to establish that pressure. We store it so that we can use it at a later date. We have 7 million gallons of water that we can call on at a moment's notice to use for fire flow or if we had other really high peak uses. pump house like is behind us here that pumps the water out of the aquifer into our system. And then there's booster stations we have that boost it up hillsides. And then the reservoirs that we were talking about earlier, where we store the water. This well is only 100 feet deep to the top of the aquifer, and we only dug down into it because it's hand dug. We only dug down into 8 or 10 feet. Functionally, the 4 million gallon reservoir at the end of 16th, it's big, it's ugly, it's flat. It stores 4 million gallons of water and could serve the whole system for several days, all on its own if the power went out. You know, the aquifer is so big, so clean, so good. It's an amazing thing, and we need to do all we can to protect its quality and use its quantity wisely.
A nationwide teacher shortage is leaving thousands of students without educators in grades K through 12. The shortage is so critical, some schools have been forced to cancel classes. Department of Education data shows 47 states have reported teacher shortages this school year, with the problem most acute in both urban and rural areas. Some state legislatures are passing laws making it easier to become a public school teacher, but experts say that's just making the problem even worse.
When states respond to shortages by reducing standards rather than by increasing salaries and improving working conditions, what they're doing is creating a vicious cycle. So they get people in who are underprepared. Those people leave at 2 to 3 times the rate of those who've come in with preparation.
The National Council on Teacher Quality says from January 2021 to January 2023, 23 states have lowered teacher qualification requirements. And new details are emerging after the U.S. military shot down a suspected Chinese spy balloon over the Atlantic Ocean. A senior U.S. military official told CNN fighter jets from Langley Air Force Base in Virginia were involved in the operation. A single missile was used to bring the balloon down. The debris field is about 7 miles wide and 47 feet deep. Navy divers will help with the recovery as they're needed. The U.S. Navy and the Coast Guard have set up a perimeter around the balloon, and they expect to be in that area for a couple of days. China responded to the takedown, saying it reserved the right to, quote, take further actions, and criticized the U.S. for a, quote, obvious overreaction and serious violation of international practice. The entire situation adding further strain to the already tense relationship between U.S. and China. And the Gonzaga Bulldogs are coming off yet another close loss, this time to St. Mary's last night. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti shows us how this one came down to the wire and why there is bad news for one player in particular moving forward.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
At Fred Meyer, we want our fresh produce to meet your expectations, which is why we do up to a 27-point inspection to check for things like color and scarring. Because when it comes to fresh, higher standards mean fresher produce. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone.
Arby's, 2 for $7 every day. Arby's roast beef got a spicy new upgrade. 2 of those things for just $7. Arby's, we have the meat.
For over 6 decades, first as the Spokane Guild School, now as Joya, we have been providing care that is second to none. Now we have a building to match. Joya, every child is limitless.
Here we grow again. Even more fun is headed to Spokane Tribe Casino. You love Caesar Sportsbook, the Grill and Bar, and larger variety of games we recently added. Gear up for a new food court, a completely smoke-free gaming area, a state-of-the-art entertainment venue, and more. Things just keep getting better. This February, you could win $5,000 cash or a trip to the Final 4 games of the college basketball tournament in Houston, Texas. Only at Spokane Tribe Casino. You just win here.
The time to buy is now. Yes, RV show pricing continues at R&R RV in North Spokane. Over 125 RVs are indoors at 525 East Francis. You'll save thousands with rebates and show discounts on Cougar, Rockwood, Montana, Class B vans, and more. Everything show priced. Don't shop in the cold. Shop over 125 RVs indoors now at R&R RV in North Spokane, 525 East Francis. Online at rnrrv.com.
It's time for a new shower, but you don't want the hassle. You just want it done. Rebath. From start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,250 off your complete bathroom remodel.
Arby's, 2 for $7 every day. Au jus, in case your French dip gets thirsty. 2 of those things for just $7. Arby's, we have the meat.
When your door is always open, so is the fridge. At Fred Meyer, however you shop, in-store, pickup, or delivery, you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards. That's a win-win-win. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone.
It technically wasn't an upset, but last night the Gonzaga Bulldogs found themselves on the losing end of a matchup against St. Mary's down in Moraga once again. And for the first time since the 2015-2016 season, Bulldogs already have at least 5 losses in the regular season, and we just began the month of February, so this could get very interesting as Selection Sunday is in exactly 5 weeks. But how did we get here? Well, in the first half, Gonzaga is going to be up by 8, and Ben Gregg's going to find himself at the top of the arc. Hits from 3, and the Bulldogs go into the break with the lead. In the second, Gonzaga still in control, and Nolan Hickman comes up with a steal, and the offense now moving quickly in transition. Drew Timme is going to finish at the other end with a nice little shot at the rim. That goes down, but back come the Gales as Alex Dukas from the wing, and that's going to cut the deficit into a little bit and get the crowd starting to feel a little bit of that shift in momentum. Fast forward to the final seconds of regulation. Gonzaga up by 2, but Mitchell Saxon receives a nice pass under the basket to tie the game up. GU has one last chance. The Strother shot just short at the rim, so we head to overtime. The last time Gonzaga was in overtime, if you remember, the 2021 Final Four Classic against UCLA. However, Jalen Suggs isn't walking through that door. And in the OT, it was all St. Mary's as Aiden Mahaney was playing possessed late in this game. That 3 gives the Gales a 4-point lead. Then with under 20 seconds to play, a blown coverage by the Zags leads to a Kyle Bowen slam at the other end. And that's going to do it as St. Mary's pulls off the 78-70 win and extends their lead in the WCC by 2 games with 6 left to play in the regular season. And this tough stretch for the Bulldogs doesn't let up as they're now going to return home on Thursday night for a matchup against San Francisco. They narrowly escaped the Dons just a month ago, so win is not guaranteed. But it wasn't all bad for the Bulldogs. During the game last night, Drew Timme moved into number 2 all-time on the Gonzaga scoring list as he passed Jim McPhee in the first half. The senior forward is now just 165 points from that all-time record, which he should have a good chance at reaching by the end of the regular season. Now, to the bad news. Late in the game, starting guard Nolan Hickman went down with an apparent ankle injury as he was driving to the rim. He stayed down there for a few moments and had to be helped off the floor. Now, the extent of the injury isn't known right now, and there's no word on if he's going to miss any kind of games. Now down to Pullman, the Washington State women were looking to recover after their blowout loss at Friday night at the hands of number 2 Stanford. And a win today over Cal would certainly keep them right on that bubble for the NCAA tournament. Well, early in the first quarter, Cougs are going to be down by 4, but Charlize Ledger-Walker, well, she's going to be left all alone on the wing. You can't do that because she's going to hit it every single time. In the second, Washington State still finds themselves down, but freshman center Lauren Glazer gets the pass underneath, misses the first shot, but cleans up nicely with the putback. In the second half, this is where the Cougs really start to take control now. Ledger-Walker goes back to work, makes a little step, and finishes with the layup. She would finish with a game-high 25 points. And later on, off an inbound, Joanna Tedder is going to find herself open, nails the catch and shoot 3. That's 1 of 2 made from that range on the afternoon for her as the Cougs use a massive second-half performance and pull away to earn their 16th win on the season, as maybe they're starting to find their groove here with just a few games left to keep them in contention.
So I think we got a much better looks and just finishing those looks as well. I think we came out, a little bit over-penetrated, a little bit in transition, a bit of turnovers, so we really tidied that up in the second half.
It's like I said, it's hard to close out a game. I think especially still with our team with a little bit of a hangover and not certain of certain things or not able to finish some of the shots that we're getting. I just think that's going to be the next big growth if we can start finishing some of these real good looks that we're getting at the basket.
Next up for the Cougs is going to be a trip out to the Rocky Mountains where they first take on Colorado Friday night in Boulder. 4 News Now, we'll be right back.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Northwest Motorsport.
Why not have the bath of your dreams? With Bath Planet, you can once again relax and enjoy the beauty of your new shower and bath. Our custom-built baths and showers will forever change the way your bathroom looks.
Call today for a free in-home consultation.
Your TV shows change. Your TV bills don't have to. Get the same bill every month for 3 years.
Dad.
The 3-year TV price guarantee, only from Dish. Tuned into you.
Dad? Well, looks like our surgery patient is feeling better today.
Yep, I didn't need any oxy today. I thought I'd do a little surgery on the drain.
Huh. Do you need your pain pills anymore?
No.
Well, we should get them out of the house. There are places to drop them off.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I can do that right now.
And I will look at the drain.
Prevent opioid misuse. Find safe medication return options near you at med-project.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll get right to the point. It's the President's Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress.
President, what's that mean for the average American?
It means saving $100 off every $1,000 you spend.
And purple?
With bipartisan support, we've allocated up to $900 off adjustable mattress sets.
And how will the people pay for these so-called savings?
Try 4 years no interest and free shipping. The President's Day Super Sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Want to do a little spinning and winning at the Kootenai Casino? Play our February Hot Spins Thursday through Sunday. Win there and you'll move on to Friday, Saturday Super Spins drawings. Then get a shot at the big money drawing. Book a midweek room at the Kootenai Falls Lodge for just $59 or a midweek Riverview room for just $89. Hot Spins, Super Spins, and Final Cash giveaway. We're winning and spinning at the Kootenai Casino. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Why not have the bath of your dreams? With Bath Planet, you can once again relax and enjoy the beauty of your new shower and bath. Our custom-built baths and showers will forever change the way your bathroom looks.
Call today for a free in-home consultation.
Gonna still have some active weather here for the start of the week. Maybe a couple sprinkles Monday, some wet weather Tuesday. The rest of the week, though, looking pretty good. Some nice, mild February conditions.
All right, well, today is National Weather Person's Day, and we have some pretty amazing meteorologists here at 4 News Now. We want to thank them for all of their hard work. Matt Gray, a very happy National Weather Person's Day to you.
Thanks.
We are so happy to have you here on the weekends. You can keep up to date with all the news on KXLY.com, and we'll see you back here at 11.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.